Okay, so there's your anterior cruciate ligament. Okay, can I have a probe? We'll do a probe. Okay, and then here's your anterior cruciate ligament here. These are the so-called anterior medial fibers. Okay, and then these would be so-called posterior lateral fibers, and the posterior lateral fibers are right there. That's where they insert, and that's a nice view right on the femur there. And the AM bundle is more up here. In fact, we can see the split in this specimen. Here's your AM bundle over here. Here's your PL bundle here. This is your posterior cruciate, which is covered by the synovial sheath. Now we're going to go to the meniscus, okay? This is the anterior horn of the medial meniscus right there, okay? And you can sort of see if you have a tear here, you can kind of see what kind of instrument you're going to need to get to that tear. If you use a straight instrument, you cannot access that part of it. So you see, you're going to need a curved instrument or a 90-degree instrument. So if I have a tear, you could use the back biter is good here, right in the front. But here, you might want to use a 90-degree rotary. So in this zone, this anterior third, you may want to use a rotary. Now here, we could use a curved punch, and that would give me access there. Now in the very back, you're going to have to work a little bit. You're going to have to pull a little bit like that, and then just open it like that, okay? So you got to really, really crank that, yeah, crank that. There you go. And again, this is more difficult. This is the posterior third, right there. And this is the hardest part of the meniscus to see back here. And this is where access is tight. Look, this is a 2-millimeter probe. You can see how much space you have there. Not a lot of space there, okay? But again, in a real knee, we can open this up. Now, see, if I push on that now. You got to push hard, and we have to work at this. But there is the posterior horn. See that? And I'm doing this with my body. And see, there is your posterior horn. And see, this has a little free edge tear. See the tear there? A little bit of a free edge. Now, this is the zone. Again, look how much space you've got there. That's a 2-millimeter probe. So that's 2.5 millimeters. And so you are going to want to use narrow line instruments. We can use straight instruments. Notice the pathology is straight ahead. So we can use straight instruments here, here, here. So this zone, typically I'm using a straight instrument, narrow line straight or narrow line upbiter, and Aaron's done a great job. He's got that wide open. Nice. And see, now as we move to the middle third, we have to cut in this direction. So we're going to need a curved instrument. Duckbill curve to the left. And then as we move into the middle and anterior third here, we need, you can see, 90-degree instruments. And see, I'm using the probe to help me. If I've got a tear here, no chance a straight instrument is going to access. You can see it's going to be a 90-degree instrument. Here, I can access the tear quite easily with a straight instrument, straight instrument, straight instrument. Here, I'm starting to look. The probe says, look, curve. I need a curve to the left. Okay, that's good. Now let's go to the lateral meniscus. So here is your posterior horn, okay? Here's the attachment where the meniscus attaches to the back of the tibia, and that's called the root of the meniscus. So there, and again, here you're thinking straight instruments. Now we move into the middle third. There's a tendon there. See that tendon in the background? It's called a popliteus tendon. And the lateral meniscus, there's a hole. See the hole there? It's called popliteus hiatus. This tendon slides through this little hole. And so here, again, you can go straight, but probably you would like curved instruments here. And now in the anterior third, here's where you might want to use your backbiter and your rotary punches. So if you have a tear right here, probably backbiter. Let's go with a narrow line straight and narrow line upbiter, okay? We're going to use that. And here is a tear, typical tear. And there, here's the instrument. It's going to come in, and I'll try to keep this clear. And you can see this has a free edge tear. And notice I can take very small bite. Okay, so there, again, very small bite. But notice, as I move over to this part of the meniscus, it's difficult. I'm cutting at an angle. I'm not cutting straight on. So here's but I can get this right here. I can get this little, so I can just take small bites, small nibbles. Now, narrow line upbiter. Narrow line upbiter, fits under the condyle a little bit better. See the curve, how it conforms to the surface. So if I have a tear on the upper part of the meniscus, up here, I can access that a little bit better with a up-biter instrument. And again, I'm not taking big bites. These are the workhorse for the posterior horn. Typically, you're using these instruments. And this is a degenerative tear a little bit. Now here, see I can, and here is my trick. I come in, I can see exactly how much. That's why I like hand instruments versus the shaver, because I can control my depth of penetration, okay? The narrow line straight is useful for the undersurface of this. There's a tear that's called horizontal cleavage tear, which this specimen has a little bit of. Let's go with the shave. And so when the debris interferes with seeing, we come in with the shaver now. But this is a 4-5 blade. Notice it's tight. I can do it, but it's really tight. I would be going 3-5 shaver here. I'll show you. I have a little better access. See, I've got a little bit more room. See how I can maneuver this one? I can get closer to the meniscus here. I'm just going to trim this. But notice, the shaver takes a long time. Okay? It's not that aggressive. Let's go with a narrow line, straight. In 2 seconds, I'm going to take that tear and I'm going to have it perfectly trimmed. Now, watch this. See the area there? Boom. Clear that out. Boom. And I can leave a nice, smooth edge. The one thing, though, and let's go now with the duckling or duckbill punch. The one thing that and I'll show you why you might want to use a duckbill if you can do it. Notice how that meniscus, I was able to take care of it, but I've got scallop. If you can get this in, you like this punch, because watch, it doesn't leave those scallops in here. And you can take this meniscus out very quickly. So if I have access, it's got a big jaw. But notice, look how smooth that is compared to what I did before. And that's because, look, this jaw is bigger. And notice, as I cut into the meniscus gets thicker. So I need an instrument, the jaw will open a little bit larger. See there? And see how clean that cut is? So that's where we like the duckling and the duckbill. Look at that. That's perfect. I don't even need to shave that, okay? Now I can come under here. Let's go with the duckbill upbiter. See how this fits under the condyle? And now, boom. And I can adjust, I can see exactly how much. Look at that. There, okay? And see, I can nibble away. And that's done better than a shaver could do. And I've done it with a few simple bites, okay? Now, let's give me a narrow line straight. We'll go to the middle part of the meniscus, yeah. And you're going to see the limitations we have. There are some limitations. So there. But notice here, the instrument is cutting at an angle. The meniscus surface is pointing this way. I'm coming in at an oblique angle, okay? And I can make that work. But ideally, let's go with a duckbill to the left. And the idea is the instrument cuts perpendicular to its edge. See, I'm more perpendicular to the tear edge. There. And see, this one has a little bit of, okay? But again, as I come forward, and if there's a tear here, I can't access it, okay? I can come up to about here, and then because of the obliquity of the surface, I start to lose the ability. Now let's go with a rotary punch. Now here is the rotary punch, okay? And notice how it comes in perpendicular to the edge. So see how I can take a nice bite there? There. And see here. And then get the backbiter ready. Because there's a limit on this punch as far as I can go. And I'm starting to reach that limit. And see here, I can come in here, but anything more anterior, and then I'll use your backfire. Now by switching portal, we'll go back again. Notice how I can access this anterior third of the meniscus with a curved instrument just by switching the portal. Now let's go back here. We'll open up this part of the joint, and now watch here. Now see here with the curved instrument, I have to stop. I can't go posterior. Now I go with a straight instrument. While we're here, let's open up the lateral side. If I want to access the posterior horn, I can. It's straight, and instruments work best, and you have your best visualization when the instrument is coming in perpendicular to the tear. So in this posterior third, okay, by switching portals, I can put any instrument in, any straight instrument. Now where I lose it is here. Now I've got to switch to a curved instrument. And same thing here, I'd have to use a backbiter if I were to stay in this portal. Now if I switch the portal, so what you do is you use this portal to visualize the pathology, figure out what you want to do. Now notice with this portal, getting to the back of the meniscus is not quite as easy as it was when I had it in the medial portal. But access to this part of the meniscus is much easier. And again, I can use a straight instrument. Notice a straight instrument will work here, 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 here. And then now I'm going to start to use curved instruments, backbiter here, and then I would use a rotary punch there. So let's have a duckbill there, okay? And so, boom. And one trick I do is I just let the tissue fall into the jaw. It just falls in, boom, cut. Now notice here, I'm using it to cut on the side here. I'm not quite as effective. Now give me the duckbill to the right. Okay? Now if I come in with the curve instrument, notice how more effective. I'm perpendicular to the tear. You can hear it. I'm taking a nice crisp bite, okay? Now notice here, I'm going to have to start cutting on the side of the instrument. That tells me, let's go to the rotary. Now I can come in perpendicular to the tear, and see, boom, watch this. And this works great here. Boom. 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 Now I'm going to lose it here. Backbiter territory. And see now, there. This instrument, notice it bites differently. Notice the jaw. I've got to get this under. Now there's a piece I would want to take out. There. There's a nice longitudinal tear. First step is to probe the tear, okay? To look at that tear and say, okay, that's an unstable tear. And now I'm planning my resection. I'm saying, I need to trim to here. I want to take as little meniscus as possible. I need to trim to there. Now, I want to do this. Okay, I've got a busy OR schedule. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I've got access. I'm going for a duckbill. I'm going to make this easy. And see here, is this a upbiter? No, this is a good example. Okay? Here's your upbiter. Notice it tends to want to get me to the upper surface. I want to be down, so I need a straight instrument here. This is not the best choice. I can make it work. Watch this. See how that slides under there? How easy it is. So I'm going to make this quick. Boom. 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 Notice how thick the meniscus is. So a narrow line punch is not going to work here. Let's give me a narrow line to finish this. I'll show you as an example. Narrow line. See that part of the meniscus? I need to trim that. Your narrow line is going to make a mess out of this. And see, here's another trick. You can take your instrument. Notice this instrument wants to go up. I want to go down. Okay? You just take it and turn it upside down. But notice it's not as elegant as the... Now let's go back to the duckbill. Straight. See how easy it is? This is the punch. For this job, this is the best punch. Now notice how I'm coming in obliquely to the tear. And this is where I might consider switching portals if I really am struggling here. Or Aaron's going to give me one to the left. And so your nurse, after a while, can look at it and she can figure out what punch you need. Okay? And so there, and now I can come in here, I can finish this up. So now I'll do a little shaving. Okay? Notice, I'm not going to have to do much shaving. The shaving here is really just to remove the debris. So here, I would look at this and say, this is unstable. See that? I need to take this out. The upper part of this meniscus is stable, okay? So that's what my probing tells me. So now I'm going with the duckbill straight again. This is on the lower part of the meniscus. I'm going to come in with the duckling or duckbill. I'm taking out this lower part of the meniscus. Boom. 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 There, a little bit. I may need a little bit more delicate work here. Boom. 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 Now notice I'm starting to lose it. I need a punch to the right now. Duckbill to the right. Now I'm going to come in with the duckbill to the right. I'm going to suck out the debris here. Duckbill to the right gets me here. Gets me in the axilla of the tear. Notice there's a little bit of tearing on this upper surface. I can trim that. Okay? Now here's where my shaver comes in, just to kind of contour that. Suck out the debris. Now narrow line upbiter. There's a little bit on that upper surface. Now, if I wanted to really be a nice cosmetic surgeon, see that little flap there? It's saying upbiter. Now here, see there's a little bit of a split here. Watch this. I come with the instrument upside down. I can use a narrow line straight. And there's all kinds of maneuvers I can do to get that part of the meniscus there. So there it is. And so I can come here a little bit. You can see the internal structure of the meniscus. See the circumferential fibers. Okay? And now here. Now see this? I can use a curved instrument, duckbill to the, or what I want to show is just switching portals. Okay? I want to stay with a straight instrument there. I switch portals. So if I want to come to the back of this meniscus, watch. The instrument now is perpendicular. It's so easy. You can see. Now, I could have done this through the other portal. I would have had to go to a curved instrument. Now, look, here's a little bit on this upper part of this meniscus, right there. And see, with the straight instrument, notice the straight gives me access to the lower, and this is beautiful right here. Gives me access to the lower part of the cleavage, okay? If I want the upper part, I've got to go with a upbiter to get the upper part. Now watch. Upbiter. See how easy? Boom. Boom. Okay? Now, there's a little bit of the meniscus there. Let's go with our to the right. Now I'm going to come here. But notice, again, even this with this right instrument, now give me the rotary. And this is a good example. Even though I've got a right instrument, notice I can't cut to the side here. So I've got to come, either I got to switch back to the other portal, or, and see, this is a tough one. This is the limit of this portal. That's what this is telling me. This says to me, switch portal, because now it's easy. I can use any instrument to get that from this portal. It doesn't matter. Okay? Come in and trim. Okay? Clean it up. Okay. So that's it. Clean it up and There you go.